This is episode 18.
This is episode 18, that's right.
And I'm Jeremy Knight, and
I'm Carlos Hernandez.
And today we were talking about we're gonna hit a little bit. There's not a whole lot of movie news in the past week. We haven't done a show in 2 weeks. What have you been up to the past 2 weeks?
Let's see. The past 2 weeks. Last week, had my girls all day, so that was good. I didn't work, and we hung out, watched movies, and went to the pool. I introduced them to Pee Wee's Playhouse.
Nice.
You remember that? Did you?
Yeah, I remember. Oh, yeah, I remember.
You're a fan? No, I'm not sure because you're
careful! There's these bags right here that
you're gonna hear all these crinkling
don't sound good.
Potato chips. Sorry. And then that was it. And then during the week you couldn't do it on Friday because you were working. And
I was shooting a wedding. I think.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
You said fortunate? Now?
Unfortunately.
Oh, why?
I got paid though. That's fortunate.
That's good. Good money. So is that your mom brought you a Whataburger?
Oh yeah. That's why I'm late to recording today because my mother decided to borrow my car with my permission, but only for a little bit. It was
an hour.
I was like, how long is it gonna take? Because I gotta be somewhere at 1:30. She said, oh, it'll only be an hour. This is 11:30. She walks in the door at like 1:45. I'm like. I was like, I'm late. She's like, oh, we were just sitting in the car. I'm sorry. Like, I know she's not listening to this, so I can complain.
Hey. No, it's your mom. What are you gonna do?
But yeah, and why didn't we record last week? Though why didn't we record on Monday?
No, Monday because I had the girls all day.
Okay, gotcha.
And I know we've discussed alternate recording options, but my girls are nasty. They run into the room on purpose just to be nasty. So we hung out in the pool for like 3.5 hours, and then we came out and had dinner, and that was it. But yeah, it was it. We saw, that was Father's Day weekend. We saw Who Framed Roger Rabbit at the Alamo Draft House up in Katy.
Which we were going to go back to.
Which we were going to see the Beyond.
We were going to go see the Beyond. Actually, 2001 was playing last night, too. I didn't know about that.
I was angry. I didn't look at my mail all week.
I've already seen it in theaters, but still.
It's still a great movie to watch over.
Absolutely.
But are you... Bullshit, I'm sorry. Are you a member of the Victory thing?
No, I'm not. I'm not.
And I am, and then it's like, today I'm going through all my emails, and it says, Victory members, you can buy one, get one free at this weekend with 2001 or the Beyond. And I was like, what?
I think I do get all the emails, though. I think I would subscribe to the emails when I set up an account, because they automatically sign you up, just like every other company.
Well, I'm saying that would have been good. We could have sold it for half price, $5 or whatever it was.
Yeah, the Beyond. I was excited about the Beyond. I mean, I've seen 2001, and honestly, I saw it at like Cinemark's XD Theater, which was like real comfortable, and like I don't know if I'd want to go see it at Alamo Drafthouse just because it's not. I mean, there's food and stuff, which is great, but it's just not the seating environment and everything isn't just. It's not as immersive as like as really any other theater. I mean, it serves its purpose though. It's more like
of course, yeah.
I compare it more to like a drive-in, even though it is still a theater.
Yeah. That's interesting that you say that. I feel the same way, and
I'm not going to go see certain films there. There's just because the experience is different.
Well,
I like that experience. I want that to exist, but it's just not always what I prefer.
I think that they should pull like okay, so this weekend's an exception. This weekend I got to ask Rhonda and the girls see if they want to do it. But I like when they do their retro films with a lot more fun, a lot more planning. Like the Goonies, which unfortunately we couldn't make it to because of the car situation when we came back from Dallas. But the Goonies, that was like a well-rounded, decent price. It was like you got a little grab bag that came with the pirate patch, and they had Baby Roots in the bag that you throw at the screen every time. So they did that, but I was kind of, because after I looked at the Beyond, I mean they had that. I don't know. Obviously, you didn't win the album. But that was it, and it was like I was kind of like let down. I was like, that's kind of cheesy. But like this weekend with Back to the Future, sometimes they go all out for their retro films. And I think those are the more ones I would rather go to when there's more of an experience than just
watching the movie.
Yeah, So I was kind of let down when I read what both 2001 and what.
The Beyond though would be. The Beyond would still be an experience though, because
no. That's still
a cool film though.
Did you like it?
I didn't go.
Oh, so you didn't go? Oh, see, now I feel like a dick. Oh.
No, you're fine. I mean, but I wanted to go see that. I mean, I'm not going to go see a movie like that by myself.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
same with
It
like The
would be
Room.
fun to go with others. Yeah,
like that's only fun with others. I mean, you can you could
Jackson.
still have fun, but like I'm not going to drive an hour to go do that. Like I'm going to be living downtown. I'm going to be right by River Oaks.
Yeah, yeah.
I might go to River Oaks by myself now that it's only 5 minutes away.
I'd love to go to River Oaks again. I enjoyed that experience. And they do, even though the Rocky Horror Show is kind of too hipstery for me, they did have a lot of
It's also been
movies.
done. I mean, it's been been going on for so long.
But
you're itching yourself. That's
I got
you got a mic real close to you now.
I'm sorry. Can you hear that? Damn.
Yep.
You
Oh,
can
totally.
hear everything. But they had a great lineup last year. I still had the Rocky Horror thing, and like they had Bill and Ted, and they had all that stuff. So that I don't mind seeing.
But Bill and Ted's not one though that plays every weekend like
Yeah,
Rocky
yeah,
Horror
no,
does.
that's what I'm saying.
I mean, you can literally go see Rocky Horror whenever you want to.
Yes, I know. But yeah, so you didn't go, and so now I feel bad. But you said you wanted to go with someone, and that is good. I wanted.
Yeah,
to
no, I wasn't gonna go.
Yeah. So but that was it. That's why I guess I liked the Roger Rabbit. Some guy introduced it before the movie, and
I haven't seen that movie in like a decade, probably.
yeah, and then they have like
I don't know when it came out.
Came out in 88,
Yes,
88,
it's definitely been a decade.
89. And they had commercials.
I'll say
before
that,
then.
and it'll be a movie that came out 5 years ago. I'm like, I haven't seen that movie in a decade. It's like,
Yeah, I saw it on video like a couple of years ago, and then we saw it. I haven't seen it on the big screen in a while. But yeah, they had like little retro commercials before it, and the audio, some of them were so bad. I was like, oh my god, why didn't they even air it? But it was good. We had a good time, and so that's
it's a
why
drive. Which one did you go to? The one in Katy or the
I went to the one in Katy. You're the one who
Both of
said,
them are far.
yeah, because the one in Vintage is where they're giving Back to the Future. Yeah,
So they're both a good hour.
yeah.
I mean, and that's without traffic.
Yeah, shit. Yeah, I know. We got there in about an hour and 10.
Houston sucks, people. If you don't live here, I mean, honestly, I don't see how traffic could be worse anywhere else. Just simply because I could see it in L.A. Like L.A. would be the one. I mean, what do you think? You're from New York.
Yeah.
I mean, traffic's bad in New York, but at least you have public transportation.
No, there was no traffic in New York. I mean, for me, literally, like when I was there in the beginning of the year, just hopped on the train and was there in 10 minutes. It's like, if anything, I was being a tourist, forgetting that, certain rides are like 15 minutes, and I'm there going an hour before and getting there early. That's why I caught up on my comic book reading, which was, I think, the best thing about going to New York. It's like I just sat there, took my little bag, opened up a comic book, and just took I don't know, the slowest train. The R train in New York goes from Brooklyn to Manhattan. Actually, from Brooklyn to Queens. And that takes about an hour if you leave from my mom's house to Midtown Manhattan. It's about an hour ride. So I just did that every day, and read my comic books on the way in, and that was it. But yeah, there was no traffic. I mean, there's traffic.
I guess it takes.
I was going to drive.
Same as sitting in traffic.
Yeah,
it takes you an hour.
If I was,
but it's an hour of not
yeah.
having to really worry about anything. It's an hour of reading or an hour of
And the snow was worse too. The snow made it worse because people were like not driving too fast. And I remember one time waiting for a bus. Oh my god, for almost an hour. I could tell me I could just walk it.
I mean, I bet you'd have to drive. I bet it'd take you 2 hours to get. That hour long train ride would take you 2 hours.
2 hours
car.
if you drove. Yes.
But the difference is, you also in a city like New York, you have those cool theaters and stuff all over the place. Like it's not like here where you live in the suburbs and you literally can only go to a Cinemark or an AMC.
That's true. Yeah.
Like
I see
you have to we have to drive 45 minutes to get, or not 40. It's 30. We're 30 minutes from Houston probably, but you have to drive 30 to 45 minutes depending on traffic just to go to any of those theaters that are going to be playing. Anything special. So we have to wait for AMC or Cinemark to get that wide release in order to see anything. And that's just kind of how it is here in Houston. You get used to it. I mean, but all of the nice theaters are on the north side or in downtown. Just because that's just how it is. But I'll be living downtown, which would be nice.
And it's funny because there's one of the things I told myself to get myself down to Texas was I was in love with Ain't It Cool News. I was in love with the Alamo Draft House. So excited that I would get near an Alamo Draft House. And it's funny because now they open up one in New York, so
right,
And I'm like,
they're blowing up.
Yeah, so next time I go to New York, I definitely want to hit that. But it wasn't open when I was there. It opened up like in April or something.
And I mean, really, we only have I mean, it's Alamo Drafthouse, it's the Edwards, and there's only 2 Edwards, I think, in Houston. Maybe not. I've never been to one, actually.
There's the one downtown, and there's one.
I'm going to be living a minute from one, within walking distance of one now.
That's the one by my sister's house. Yeah, so you're probably living where my sister used to live. Yeah. And then there's the one that
we're right by the Galleria.
Yeah, you said about what, 20 minutes from the Galleria?
We're less than a mile from the Galleria.
Less than a mile. Okay,
yeah.
So it's like 5 minutes of driving.
If that, yeah.
If that, yeah.
Or like you can walk there. It's within.
Can't wait to see this place. I gotta check this place out.
It's gorgeous, man. We're excited about it.
Yeah.
It'll be good.
So you guys, July 12th, you said.
July 12th. Yep, yeah. That's the move out date, and they have their apartment, until, because I'm moving in with John, who was on the show last week, and then Jordan. And John and Jordan are currently roommates, and so their lease isn't up till the 30th of the month. So we technically don't need to move in on the 12th, but we're paying for it. So we'll definitely make the big move on the 12th, most likely, all the big furniture and stuff, and then come back for everything else. Because the trucks are expensive though, so we'll see. But we don't want to have to make 15 trips back and forth.
Yeah. So, but you guys are gonna do it yourself, though. Right?
Well, no, I mean we have a bunch of furniture and stuff. I mean, queen size mattress ain't gonna fit in a car or.
No. I mean, but you're gonna be doing the moving yourself, physical moving.
Yes, yeah. We ain't got no money for hiring movers. Yeah, I mean.
I'm telling Rhonda. Rhonda's telling me, if we leave here, I can get someone to do for $150.
Well, that's not bad.
Yeah, but I don't believe that shit.
Yeah, no, there's no way. I mean, I don't know. It's gonna cost you $1,000 probably.
Yeah,
to people to move your stuff.
My sister, it cost her $2,000.
It's $150 just for the truck, let alone.
Yeah. So that's what I said. But anyway, let's see what I don't want to move here. I mean, hopefully me and my landlord.
Moving's expensive, man.
It's very expensive. I don't have no ambition to move or care to move.
This is a bad place.
No, it's a bad
You are far from the freeway, though. That'd be my only complaint.
Yeah, but I like.
You're on a main road, though.
Yeah. I'm right off on Bay Area. So, but
Bay Area's a good road.
It is good, and it leads it everywhere. So that's good. So, so there was no movie news. But there was TV news.
Yeah, a couple shows that have come back. Some that ended. One in particular called Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones.
If you haven't heard about this little show called Game of Thrones, it's great. Well, I think it is at least. What do you think of the finale? Okay, so I guess we're gonna do spoilers. Game of Thrones through season 5.
Okay,
yeah,
so
because TV, honestly, you can't talk about television without talking about spoilers.
Yeah,
that's just how I feel about it.
And I'm pretty sure everyone's already seen. I mean, it ended 3 weeks ago.
All the people that care about it have seen it.
Yeah, I've seen it.
But even if they haven't, they're probably not listening to the show. And and honestly, like, I mean, I would rather listen to a show that talks about the spoilers than one that says, yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, I was mad.
That's all you can say. Or it's really bad. The ending is bad. That's all you can say.
I remember the season finale. It aired on Sunday night, and we have our Dish Anywhere. So I was going to look at it that night because I didn't want any spoilers. And unfortunately, they don't air the repeats until the following day. So I was like, fuck. But I was like, anyway, it don't matter. So I'm driving to work, and Rhonda has 2 country stations on her fucking thing, and I forget to deprogram them. But sometimes I listen to country just to get into it. And one of the stations just... like when I got on, they were like, "Oh yeah, I heard them talk about Cersei." So I was like, I said, "Wait, they're not doing." I mean, they wouldn't be doing spoilers, so I guess they're just talking about characters. And lo and behold, like they were talking about Cersei and everything, and they weren't talking about what happened. They were just talking about how much of a bitch she is, and And I was like, okay. So I was listening to a little bit, and then like they were like, "All right," you go. So on to spoiler number 3, and then I was like, "What?" So I quickly changed the channel, but literally, I read after too the next day that people were mad at that station because. The guy who did the thing, he's one of the interns. He just literally spoiled everything that happened on the show. Luckily, I got to work. I got in. I worked 10 to 6. I mean,
with live air, you need to do a spoiler tag like periodically.
Periodically, yeah.
I mean, I don't know how I feel about that. I don't think you should be able to spoil stuff on live television unless it's a Game of Thrones spoiler show. It really needs to be a dedicated. Thing. And I think they need a heads up before, during, and at, I mean, it's like.
So I watched it at work, and luckily I saw it, and I remember sitting there, like, there's another girl sitting there, she wasn't watching it. But every time I watched it at work, people who've never seen it before were like, what's that? And I'm like, what's that? I said, Game of Thrones. Where you been?
Game of Thrones.
They don't know,
Living under a rock.
But this girl was watching it with me, and it's like her reaction.
You don't have to have seen it. I mean, there's plenty of people that haven't seen it yet, but you should
know
know what it is.
Exactly. I get, but okay, so I guess yes, everyone should know what Game of Thrones is. But then, like when they're watching it, they're like, "What's this?" And that just throws me off too. I'm like, "You've never seen Game of Thrones?" But some of them like literally never heard of it, and I mean,
that's weird. Well, what's your favorite show? Pretty Little Liars. Okay.
I'm not even talking about.
I'm not hating on people like Pretty Little Liars, but that's probably that. I mean, I hate it, but I'm saying well, that's fine. But she also watches other things.
Yeah, yes.
Like I'm saying, there's a specific people that don't watch television that only tune in for Pretty Little Liars are the ones that don't know what Game of Thrones is.
And that I agree with you. Now Rhonda wants to watch it, but she's like, I don't have time to watch all 5 seasons.
I get that. I don't have time.
And I say, you're going to watch all 5 seasons,
but at least it's on her radar, though.
Yeah, no, she does, and it's like we talked about it. We met sister a couple of weeks ago, and the last night with Lisa. So she's already the spoiler is already this. Hopefully, she can forget most of them. But
honestly, I think it's I'm rewatching it.
Yeah,
I think it's a good enough, exciting show outside of the major spoilers. I mean, and I think watching it again, even knowing what happens, it's just as exciting as the first time watching it. I think the show is just so well written, and
because I think I've seen it 3 times now because of the people who I've shown it. My niece, my sister, and
all the way through.
Yeah, I saw it. So with Charlene, I saw it, and then Charity stood here last year, and we watched it. And I saw it twice besides my initial first watching.
Because I watched it when season 1 was almost over. I mean, with spoilers, from here on out, complete spoilers for Game of Thrones. We're later going to get into David Lynch. That's we're also going to briefly talk about John Wick. Who knows what we'll have? I think we'll actually have time for all 3 of those things today. But yes, for now, Game of Thrones spoilers for probably a good 10 to 15 minutes is my guess. Yeah. So for those of you who don't like Game of Thrones or don't want any spoilers, skip ahead. Just go to 45 minutes in. We'll start talking about David Lynch in a bit, and that's what we're doing. So, from when Ned Stark was killed, everyone made a big deal about it. People were like, "Whoa, this show just killed off its main character." And so I was like, I want to watch that show. I'm interested in seeing that show. And so I tuned in and caught up. I didn't catch up in time for the finale, so it was pretty much over by the time I finished it.
Yeah.
And then I watched week to week from then on, and I just think I think it's always been one of the best shows on TV when it's on. And outside of that's even when Breaking Bad was on. Honestly, I was more excited week to week for Game of Thrones than I was Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad is a perfect show. I think really, I just think it's such great. We did a whole episode on that a while back when you finished it, but Game of Thrones is just that was an event every night. I did fall off a little bit in season 3. I remember coming back because of the Red Wedding. Everybody was like, and it wasn't because I stopped watching. I fell off week to week.
Yeah,
and was just kind of waiting for the season to end. And then it got into spoiler territory, so I was like, I need to catch up, so that I don't, I don't fall behind there and get something ruined for me. But I've never been the kind of person that gets anything that I think is really, really great. Can't be completely spoiled and ruined or it can't be completely ruined by one spoiler. I think Dave White actually did an article about this he writes for the website called unicornbooty.com. I think that's the website he posted this to, but maybe not. But he did a whole article about whether or not spoilers should be a negative thing. It's and he says he often says things like there are spoilers and there are selling points. And oftentimes, with television, there are more spoilers. I mean, I think television is more event-based than it is, an experience like cinema is. You don't get the production value. I mean, rarely do you get the production value of a movie in a TV show just because movies are expensive. And if you got to do an hour of television, if you got to fill even just 10 hours or whatever, that's a lot. That's an expensive movie or an expensive show. That's why True Detective and House of Cards are just so expensive, because and those aren't even as big in terms of scale as something like Game of Thrones. And those are it's expensive to make something look like a movie, And so television you watch more for like what happens rather than like for the whole cinematic experience of it. I mean, but what we're getting now is a blend of both. You know, it's still too expensive to make it a full movie, but you know, the True Detective is a good example of that, and House of Cards as well. Just things that look like a movie, play like a movie, paced like a film, that, you know, just really are just exciting all the way through. Yeah. And that's a fantastic thing. I don't remember where I was going with this. I'm a little sleepy. For those of you who can't tell.
Well, we were talking about, we were going to discuss. You got on board on season 2. I got on board season 3.
I guess we were just talking about spoilers in general.
Yeah, we were talking about. So it was like we were going to say that we're going to do a lot of spoiling, but I guess to wrap up the season, I mean, it's funny because now, I mean, if you read George R. Martin's material is already done. All the books that have come out, we did it on HBO.
On the show. Yeah.
So this is going to be the first
Whether
year.
or not they followed that is, I think, you know, I'm actually, I bought the books. I've become, over the past, since season 5 ended, I have officially become a Game of Thrones nerd. I've gone from just loving the show. I've always loved the show. You know, since day one, or since the first time I watched it, I think it's just been 10 out of 10 TV all the way through. Yeah. If there's times where I don't understand what's happening, though, and there's times where I'm not, you know, I've never rewatched it until now. So, like, I've never, like, you know, filled in all those gaps of questions I've had, or, like, people's names. There's certain characters that will disappear for a season, like Bran for the season, you know, like, and then come back and you're like, I don't remember why I cared about you. And, you know, or like, what's his name? Robert Baratheon's bastard, Gendry. Like, like Gendry, like, disappeared for, like, he got on Twitter. Yeah, he got on Twitter and was like, I'm still rowing. Like, nice. But yeah, like, you know, there's characters, though, that just disappear. Or even if it's just for an episode, though, if you think about it, if you're watching it week to week, they might disappear for 6 weeks. You know, or upwards of a year and a half, you know. So it's like, we come back and it's like, I don't remember like, for instance, like, there's just things I totally forgot. Like, Stannis, like, the way that Stannis became a thing in the show, I don't remember, like, because I didn't care about him at first. I mean, I'm really bad about this, so this is a problem I have when watching stuff. Like, I'm bad with names.
He's such a dick. You were like, oh, you're this guy. He's a dick.
Yeah.
But he started in season 3.
He's grumpy. Yeah. He's just like he's grumpy for him and, what's the guy that beheads people? Ilan, he's on Arya's list for the first, because he's the one that kills Ned. Stannis and him are the grumpiest people in the show, though. Every time they cut away to him, he's just got the biggest frown in the world. But you know, but like I'm really bad with names in real life and in television, stuff like that. I do not remember names very well unless I'm following, like, you know, podcasts and stuff of the show, like, you know, like I did with Game of Thrones for a while, you know, but so, like, I'll, you know, but I'm when I first get introduced to a character, though, I do not remember who or why they're important, unless they do something really exciting and become important, like, in the first couple episodes, like Tywin, for instance. I forgot he was in the first season at all. I don't remember, you know, I understood who he was, like, when I was watching it, I knew who he was, but I didn't recognize the fact that he was going to play a pivotal role in the whole series, you know, like, and so it's like, or for instance, Catelyn Stark's sister from the Vale.
Sansa?
She's something Aaron. She's married to Jon Aaron. I don't, the one who has the son that like the 6-year-old son that she breastfeeds. Like those are characters, though, that, like, I didn't recognize that she was married to Jon Aaron and was in the South when she thinks he was murdered, and then I don't remember her sending the letter to Catelyn telling him that you know, telling her that the Lannisters were the ones that killed Jon Aaron. Just a heads up, I'm gonna get names wrong in this episode because I'm discussing the fact that
spoilers. No, you'd be like, ooh.
Well, yeah, like, you know, like the names like Jon Aaron, like, I don't know, you know, like if I get something like that wrong, if you're gonna correct me on it, I'm just not gonna give you the time of day, because I'm admitting the fact that I'm not good with names currently, you know. So, but I love the show, though, so I'm trying my best to just keep that in mind. If you're gonna be, before you type that comment on our website or give us a 1-star review on iTunes, just keep in mind that, you know, I have watched the show all the way through and I've watched everything. I'm gonna read the books. and I'm going to get more.
This should be good. Yeah,
I'm excited about that. I'm excited to know everything about this. I currently don't, so I'm not fully qualified to claim, and I'm not claiming to know everything.
And this is coming from a guy who doesn't read, so I mean, it's interesting.
I don't read, so I am going to read these books though. I mean, I did read most of the Lord of the Rings though.
Did you?
Like those, I mean, when I can get into some fantasy, like fantasy fiction, bro.
Yeah.
It's because it's just stuff that has.
Bag.
Do what?
Lord of the Rings ain't my bag.
See, I've always been like I like science fiction, but fantasy has always been like the thing I geek out about, like the thing I'm super nerdy about. I do like sci-fi, I really do. You know, 2001 is a favorite film of mine. Like I love space movies and stuff, but not as much as I love fantasy films. And not even because the fantasy films haven't been good forever. Like there's a few great ones, and there's a lot of junk in that genre. But when it comes to video games and books and stuff like that, generally it's really rich, and even if it's not perfect storytelling, it's always interesting.
It's always interesting, yeah.
And so I'm excited to read the books though for these, even though I'm not a book reader. Like but partially because I've seen the show now, and so like reading that book is very different. It's just filling in those gaps and understanding like what they changed and stuff like that. I'm excited to see kind of what happened there. Most of the books I've read were movies or TV before I read them. No Country for Old Men, The Road. Even though I don't know if I saw the movie before I read The Road. Like some of those books, like my favorite books were movies first that I've seen first. So
I should read The Road.
It is a great book. And so anyway, there's just things I totally forgot about in the show all the way throughout that, rewatching this after season 5 ended, just like was like, oh man, that's awesome. That's so interesting. And like, just like characters that you learn little snippets of information that aren't necessarily important to the plot, but are interesting from a lore standpoint, like where they're from, who they're related to. What's the Targaryen guy that's in the Night's Watch? I think he dies at some point. He's really, really old.
Yeah.
Is it Aegon Targaryen? Because there's a scene where Jon Snow's like, "You're something Targaryen." And then there's also the guy who's Jorah. Mormont,
which is
there's his father. Is it his father that's in the? Again, these are things I'm asking. These are questions.
No. You're talking about Jorah, who's currently now.
Jorah is currently
the one who's in love with
Daenerys.
Yes, it's his father. Yeah.
His father, though, that's the relation there. And then I think he dies at some point too. Like these are things I don't remember, that I'm rewatching now, going, okay.
You'll see it when they all.
And there's always like I understand like somebody will say, I think Tyrion tells him like I knew your father or whatever, and he says he passed away. And he's like, "Oh, you didn't know that," to Jorah. So like, I mean, like, and so I go, "Oh, okay, I know," but I don't remember exactly like when he met him and like.
You'll see season 3.
Yep. So just all that stuff, and then like all of season 3, season 2 and 3 are a blur for me. I remember 1 because I binge watched 1, so I followed it a little bit better than 2 and 3. Like 2 and 3 though, I just do not remember. Like the Battle of Blackwater, all that stuff. I don't remember what caused that. Like I didn't know who Stannis was, and like all that happened so quickly. It really only happens in like 6 episodes. Battle of Blackwater is like episode 8 or 9 of season 2, and so like they get pretty close to battle though, like really quickly, and you don't really see like armies moving on ships or anything like that. It just kind of occurs, and I mean, and there is a cause of it, and there's it gives you all that explanation, but there's sometimes I don't know if I'm on my phone or what I'm doing, but I just completely miss it, and so like rewatching, I just think it. Some people say like I got it all my first viewing. It's like okay, but you should still rewatch this show because it's not necessarily it's not confusing necessarily. I think it is for a couple episodes, but once you get the names down and everything, I don't think it's necessarily a confusing show, but there still is a lot of information in every episode, just like The Wire or something like that. If you binge watch a show like that, you're gonna recognize things, and because you care about characters more, what they've gone through. So I'm a fan of rewatching stuff if you have time to do so, and this is a show definitely worth doing that. So we're gonna get to the current season 5. We're talking about season 5 in general. What do you think?
I liked it up until the end. And only because so many things happened in that last episode.
There's a lot of stuff.
A lot of shit happened in one episode, and I was shocked. I mean, like I said, I fell in love with the Starks, episode 1. I was shocked when Ned's head came off in the season finale 1. And then I saw it as this follows the lives of the Starks and what happens after the death of the king. And I mean, my favorite character, I think I said before, the Arya. I loved Arya. So I'm very angry about what happened, in the, what's it called, the House of Mass or the Temple of Mass, whatever it is. And
the God of Many Faces.
God of Many Faces, there you go. And
that's a weird plot line.
Yeah, I know, it is. It's actually something that is stringing away from the book. But
but is it, I mean, she still goes to, she still stays with weird people in the books, though. And
well, because of her journey. Yeah, her journey.
Is it a different city, though? Or is it still the same city and everything? That's what I heard. There was some variances in, who's in that city and
right now
and some of those things. Yeah, apparently. But I don't know that.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Isn't that
It's Marine? Is it Marine? I don't know.
Is she back in the north?
I'm literally. No. She's in the south. Arya's. She's across.
Okay.
I think she's across
the water. Yeah.
The narrow sea or whatever. Again, I could be wrong.
Again, I'm still
these are the things
be
that I'm trying to clarify. No. We can spoil.
No, I know. I keep doing, but it's like, I love her, and then she gets fucking blinded, and I'm like, no, I'm like, why?
I'm wondering. I'm interested to see. How
and then they talk about Sansa. I mean, the big. Okay, all right. Sansa Stark.
Okay, so let's talk about what happened in that episode. Though we have.
Okay. Yeah.
We have Stannis. Stannis is what it opens with.
Yeah. And
so Stannis, last episode murders his daughter, which is horrible.
Fucked up. I hated that scene.
Horrible. But did you hate it though because it's like the show wants you to hate it, or do you hate it because it's a bad scene? Do you think?
No. I hated it because I didn't want her to die. I liked her. You fall in love with her, and then this guy fought for her. And he's like, no,
Sir Davos,
she's staying here. And then I was hoping he would save her. Right before.
I need to get better at identifying when someone's totally gonna die and they totally telegraph it they send Sir Davos away to the Night's Watch and then she gets killed and then they send Sam leaves
Which
and then Jon Snow dies.
I said, why did he leave it?
You're I mean it's, and I'm sure people who read the books or people who are more versed in the show and just are more aware of what those consequences what consequences can occur because of a person being gone. Sir Davos is the one thing keeping that child alive, basically. But I think what's so great is with Stannis, though. You have this character that's really just grumpy and angry, but there's moments though, and this is why it's such a fantastic show, where you still kind of feel you're kind of sort of rooting for him. And there's that scene where he kind of accepts her as his daughter. Yeah. In season, I don't know if that was season 4 or 5. I think it was 5.
Yeah.
And it's just it's generally a touching scene.
Yeah.
And Game of Thrones is not a show that makes me feel emotions other than anger generally. And so you have a scene like that and you're like he is a human being, he recognizes what he's doing. He's definitely doubtful of the fact that, what if this isn't the right way.
The right way, yeah.
And that's a complicated character. I mean, especially for one of just the 40 people in this show, to have that kind of that kind of depth. I mean, I think that's just a testament to great writing and
I agree
impressive
with the writers
storytelling.
The writers are genius. And
I mean, this is George R. R. Martin's stuff, of course.
Yes.
But this is such a fantastically written show, though, as well. I mean, from because it is a very different medium. I was rewatching it. It helped me kind of appreciate how well edited this show is as well. I mean, obviously you're talking it's well paced, but we're talking about things like and this is the script and the editing as well. You'll have lines where they'll say something they'll mention a character, but they won't use their name or anything like that, and then they'll cut to that character, and then they'll transition from they even transition locations well. You'll move into Winterfell, and then you'll move up to the Night's Watch, in that order. Yeah. But they'll write scenes to get you to each place, and it's that's just fantastic.
It is good writing.
It's and if we and then the overall production value of it, the show just looks so great, and I mean it's an expensive show, and there's things in it that you're just I'm amazed that can be a show, and not required to be in a movie. I mean. It's just incredible. Like I said, the editing, the way it's shot, it's a gore. People complain about the compositing. I mean, when Khaleesi takes off on that dragon, you go, ooh, it doesn't look too good. But the dragons look really good.
No, yeah, I do. I dig them. I hate. I want to say that too. I hated that scene so much.
I actually really liked it.
You liked it?
I was chanting. I was like, dragon.
I love the dragon, but then he dropped. He's
I knew
all
that was
fucked
gonna
up.
happen, though.
These are there, and then what are those? This guy's people?
Who?
Who are the people who came and get her at the end?
Oh, the bad guys in that city that are trying to. Okay, so remember
Are
when?
they?
Remember,
Is that them?
Remember. Remember earlier in the season when what's his name? The fast guy. What the flick has a nickname for him? It's Eric Bana Jr. She sends him to go find all of them, and then alongside the guy with no testicles.
Okay, I know who you're talking about. Yeah,
the Unsullied,
the leader of the Unsullied.
Yeah, she sends both of those guys to scout the city and find all of these. What are the name? I don't know the name of the group. Because there's two groups that uprise in this season. You have the religious group in Casterly Rock, or not Casterly Rock, King's Landing. And then you have in whatever city Daenerys is in right now. I don't know the name. I'm sure I will once I get there, obviously, because I'll have followed it. I'm
looking now to see if they say the name.
It doesn't matter, but that group, the Harpies, is that or whatever? I could be totally wrong, so I'm not going to even try it. But they're mentioned. They start murdering people in the city. They murder the former head of the King's Guard.
But they don't have their masks when they ride in on her.
What are you talking about? Oh, at the very end? Oh, is that what you're talking about? I thought you were talking about the scene with the...
No.
Oh my gosh, we just went on a pointless tangent then.
The big like...
You're talking about the they look like Dothraki almost.
The Dothraki, that's what they are. Okay.
They might be, I don't know.
That's what everyone's saying, that they're Dothraki, and I'm like... They look gay.
And her dropping that like necklace or whatever it is that she has is like, that ain't gonna solve anything. I mean, I'm sure they'll find it, but it's like, who knows where she is? Like, there's no way they're just gonna stumble upon that little piece of jewelry in the middle of this mountain range. Like, whatever. I know it'll happen though, because they've set it up. It's just like, that's one of those TV things.
And what do you think about Sansa? Do you think she's dead or not? Because the only person they talked about was Jon Snow being alive.
There's no way Theon and Sansa are dead.
Why not? They jumped off a fucking castle.
I'm sure they landed in the snow. There was snow down there.
What kind of snow is that? It's not New York snow.
Yeah, but come on. I mean, we didn't. If we don't see them die, I mean, there's no. I mean,
so then
they landed in.
But we saw Jon Snow die, but they're saying he ain't dead.
Well, but okay, but that's a different thing though, because I think like that. This is. There's two different types of deaths in Game of Thrones. Like you have the Ned Stark death where you literally see the head. Yeah. But and the Jon Snow death. Jon Snow's dead for sure. Is he coming back?
Yeah.
Probably. Melisandre shows up to the Night's Watch.
Yes.
And this is we're not the first people to say that.
That's why. In
the books, apparently, his last word is ghost. So people are saying he's probably going to warg into ghost.
Yes.
And then Melisandre will resurrect him into who knows what form, though, if he's going to come back as Jon Snow. I do agree with the fan theory, the Rhaegar Targaryen Liliana theory. Have you heard that?
No. What is that?
It's basically saying Jon Snow is the key to Game of Thrones.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I heard something like, but I'm not.
Reason being, and I could get some of this wrong. Bear with me here. It's just from a YouTube video that I know this exists, but apparently it's a fan theory that's been a thing for a long time. So we're never totally sure who Jon Snow's mother is, and in the first season there's some hints, some like serious hints, as to the fact that Ned Stark might be lying about the fact that Jon Snow is his kid. There's a scene with him and Robert Baratheon where Robert Baratheon says, "What did she look like?" And he's like, "I won't tell you. I don't want to talk about that or whatever." Yeah. And then he's like, "What was her name again?" And he's like, "I don't." He says like Willow or something like that, or some. There's some. He gives a name, but like it's like. He really, it looks like he's not giving us all that information. And there's also a scene where Jon Snow asks him what his mother, who his mother was, and just to talk, it's right before he leaves for the Night's Watch, and Ned's like, we'll talk about that later. You keep blowing into the microphone or something, so I apologize for those those ears that are being hurt right now. And so there's this theory that so Ned Stark's sister is Lyanna Stark or Lyanna Stark. I don't. Again, names are not going to happen. she used to be married or used to be engaged to Robert Baratheon when he before he was engaged to Cersei, before all that happened. And she was kidnapped and raped and murdered by Rhaegar Targaryen. And that's why Robert Baratheon hates the Targaryens in the beginning of the first season. And there's the concept. Ned Stark apparently was there when Liliana died, and her last words were something like "Promise me, Ned," or something like that. They say it in the show in the first season. And so there's this theory that when Liliana was kidnapped and raped, that she got pregnant and gave birth to a child, that child being Jon Snow, and that Ned Stark, and so her father would be Rhaegar Targaryen, or Jon Snow's father would be Rhaegar Targaryen, and his mother would be Liliana Stark, which means he would be, part dragon and part snow, or part ice, wolf, of course, but they represent the north, and which is ice in the show. It's a stretch, but it's not a far off stretch. I mean, I think that's a very plausible. Now I can see them, just saying that's too simple of a way to wrap up a show, for Jon Snow to be just this key, because it's kind of a simple thing. I mean, we haven't seen the Rhaegar up, and that's what led to Robert's rebellion, and which was discussed but not shown in the beginning of the series. So that's an easy solution to the show. I don't know if they'll stick with it for that reason, because he's not, Martin is not the kind of writer that likes to, make things easy, and so that might be too simple for him. I don't know. But my guess is Jon Snow is very important in the show. I don't know why you would... All of the deaths in the show, including the Red Wedding and all those things, have all been for a purpose, and this would be one of the deaths that was a waste of time. And anybody that's so quick to discredit the show, even if they do kill Jon, this is going to still be a fantastic show without Jon Snow.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, just because this show has been able to, overcome the fact that it's killed off 6 or 7 really important characters that we're rooting for, but still maintain really fascinating characters with Stannis. Stannis is, Stannis had to take over a fourth of the plot lines for, for 2 or 3 seasons. And he's a boring dude, but they made him interesting. So, I think it ain't going to be a problem either way. But my guess is that Melisandre will resurrect him in some form. Yeah. I don't know what form that will be. I don't know if he'll come back in his normal Jon Snow body. Some people are saying he'll come back as a White Walker, which would also be interesting.
Oh, that'd be cool. But I don't want that to happen. But yeah, that'll be cool.
You do still have Bran as well.
And he said, I won't be in this season. I was like, really?
Well, but I could see them not bringing him back for this, because you can take a break from Night's Watch for a while now.
Yeah, you did a lot of Night's Watch. It's this season,
because we have everything in the West. Or not the West, I guess it's the East, across the Narrow Sea from the mainland. You have all that stuff. Carlos is scratching himself again.
Oh my God, I'm sorry.
We're gonna hear every little detail of Carlos scratching himself. But there's still so much to cover, and obviously we have an imminent battle that's going to occur between Daenerys. Daenerys is certainly. I think there's a couple characters that are unkillable in this show, and that's Daenerys. Maybe not until the end at least. Yeah. It's Daenerys and it's Tyrion. And Littlefinger and Varys, I think, are the ones that are untouchable. Everyone else could die. Yeah. And I think Littlefinger and Varys are too intelligent to get killed. Yeah. I just think, and same with Tyrion, and same with Daenerys. Jon Snow is a character that's ignorant to a degree. He knows nothing. And but again, if you do the Liliana thing, he can be an important player, and he can fight against all of those other people. So that gives you your main hero at the end of this story. Man, though, I tell you what, I think this has been a fantastic season. I think season 5 has been just wonderful. I really, like I said, I think this is the season that got me back into this show big time. I loved 4. I really did, with Oberyn and everything. I loved season 4, but season 5 has made me want to geek out about this show.
The White Walker seems really, really
fantastic, and not just because I love action. but that's the icing on that cake.
Yeah.
I mean, that scene is so epic, and I mean, it reminds me of Helm's Deep in the Lord of the Rings Two Towers, which I think is one of the best battle sequences ever put to screen. I love Helm's Deep. I just love the idea of like being trapped in a castle and being overwhelmed by an enemy, and then somehow making it out. It doesn't matter how that happens, but this just the way like the overpowering horde of White Walkers, like it reminds me of just kind of that just unbeatable force that is the Helm's Deep battle. And so it's just so exciting. I mean, I think that whole scene's it's fantastic. Just watching, Jon side with the wildling, the guy with the beard, who I don't think you can kill him either. He's awesome. I like that character a lot. Another character that you really shouldn't have any depth that really becomes an interesting character, at least to a degree. I mean, he's not like Stannis or anything like that, but that's a character I'm rooting for now, and he used to be kind of a bad guy. It's like, again, this show, just the way that it makes that work is something that's really impressive to me. But when the White Walker raises his army, it's just incredible. I mean, what a cool thing
that was
to see.
Fucking cool.
Because it's like you have this big threat, and you're like, damn, and then they all get back up, and it's just like that's not a TV moment. That's a cinematic moment, is what that was.
It was,
and it looks really good. That whole episode when they come tumbling off the wall, you get a little World War Z.
World War Z, definitely. Yeah.
Little World War Z action there with the CGI is not perfect, but it's a good looking scene. I mean, just because you have to really add in a lot of CG for all the snow and all of just the breath, and I mean, obviously you can go shoot it in a cold place. Mm-hmm. But you can't shoot it in a place that's that cold, that everything's frozen, I mean, like, it's you gotta pretend. A lot of that stuff is fake, and but it looks really convincing. I mean, it's amazing.
It was, and that just simple gesture of the hands. I was like, oh my God, no way! And then everybody rises. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, it's a really exciting episode, and I mean, I just remember watching that by myself, just going, whoa. It's and not a lot of other shows do that, like on that scale. So it's impressive. And then you have the dragon stuff. I mean, her flying away on the dragon just because of the bad CGI was kind of like But I mean, I knew in the books, I think a similar thing happens. Like Jorah goes to fight for Khaleesi again. And this is literally just from a friend telling me this, so I could be wrong. I'm going to read the books, and I'll report back to you on whether or not this is true or not. But and so similar things happen. The dragons show up, and I don't think I'm calling them the Harpies. I have no idea what the name of that group is.
Not that.
But they show. I don't know if they're in the books as much or not. I don't know for sure. But so I figured that a dragon was going to show up, and it did. And so it was. And that's probably more of a TV moment. It's like you have. I mean, the non-TV moment would be to kill Daenerys, Tyrion, and Eric Bana Jr. and. Who else is with them? Oh, it's the main Unsullied girl.
Unsullied
Even
girl.
she's not an Unsullied. She's just a slave to that
of course,
colony or that place.
Jorah,
yeah. Jorah, I mean, I'm interested to see. I don't know. Well, there's just so much. There's so much that I'm interested in this show. I mean, so many different plot lines, and and then Arya murders in glorious fashion.
that was cool.
I guess he used to be a part of the Kingsguard, I believe. I forgot his name.
He's the first one on the list. Isn't he the one? Yeah, hold on. I just saw him here. He's Meryn Trant.
Meryn Trant, yeah. And for some reason I was going to say Ilan Trant, and I knew that was wrong because Ilan, I think, is the name of the guy who beheads people. The grumpy cat dude. Rewatching it though. I got to the episode with Blackwater. And they're Cersei and all the Sansa and the Tyrion's whore. They're in that room, like while the Battle of Blackwater's going on, and Cersei says something like, "Why do you think he's here?" And they like cut away to Ilan, and he's just like, he has the grumpiest face in television history, and it's my favorite thing. Anyway, but Arya murders that guy in glorious fashion, and it's really fun to watch. Man, I just and that's the thing is like the show punishes people for sure, but then it satisfies. It pays off some of those things that I don't really even care. I don't even know his name, Aaron Trent.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't really care about that character, but I do like seeing Arya stab a dude's eyes out and get her revenge.
I love it so much, man. I love it.
And another plot line I forgot about when I was rewatching is when she runs into Stannis at Harrenhal. And she, for like a couple episodes, like serves him food, and not Stannis, sorry, Tywin, not Stannis, yeah, Tywin. That's the character's names I always get wrong.
That's when he takes her in, right?
Yeah. And he kind of likes her, and I would have loved to see her go with him and end up murdering him.
Yeah, that I thought was gonna happen, and then not,
And but yeah, just a fantastic couple episodes. Just that back and forth between them, though. Like, where he's like, there's a line where he's like, well, if you were gonna pretend to be a commoner, you need to learn how to speak like one.
Yeah.
And it's just like the stuff like that's really fantastic. It's nothing's happening. It's just characters talking, but it's exciting. And then Littlefinger and Varys, I still think are the best characters in the show.
Yeah.
I think every time they're on screen.
I hate Littlefinger, but yeah.
Well, but you can hate him and still love watching him, though. Yeah, Littlefinger's a bastard. He's an awful person, but he's fun to watch, man.
Yeah.
And that like Littlefinger is going to be a big player. I think he's not just going to die. Like I think he's going to either get murdered in like Oberyn fashion or live to be like the big one of the big bads. I don't know if he's powerful enough to really like take over an army. He's always been the kind of sly political corruption type. But and he's fun to watch. But and then you had Cersei. And
Cersei. We can talk about it.
But that's another thing. Like that's another thing the show has paid off. Though we get a couple episodes where Cersei gets locked in a dungeon, and it's just like I've never been more excited about a character being tortured before.
And this is where I get angry. I heard a lot of like not spoilers per se, but my sister kept saying, "Oh, what they did to Cersei." So I wanted her to be more tortured. She didn't really get that tortured enough, I think.
Oh, that was fun.
And then what the fuck were they letting her go for?
Well, but honestly, I wanted that to happen because I wanted to see Cersei's wrath.
Oh, and that we're gonna see.
We're gonna see it because the mountain is back, and it's like there's a line. He's like, he's sworn an oath of silence until he's
dead though. He looks like a White Walker. His skin's
like
all
until what's the line? It's like until he pays back all of your until all of your enemies are vanquished or something like that.
So that's interesting.
It's like that's fantastic. I love that.
He picks her up and takes her. And I'm looking at his skin though, and I'm like, is this guy a monster?
Purple.
I was like, what the fuck happened to him?
He bled out. He lost a lot of blood.
He lost a lot of blood.
But no, so he's gonna murder everyone in King's Landing,
no doubt,
and it's gonna be glorious.
Even the king, like, what the fuck happened to the king? Like her son never let her go.
Tommen.
Yeah.
Well, he's just a little, he doesn't know what to do, and he's
he's
ignorant. And
speaking of people disappeared, he just disappeared. I'm like, what? What happened?
Yeah.
And I'm like, anyway.
But he'll I don't know that. I think Tommen will just get killed. I don't think he's going to be a Joffrey. Like, I don't think he's evil enough to really make.
No.
He might make poor decisions that lead to the death of the Tyrells. I think that's probably going to happen. Like, at least Loras is gone. I think by the end of this season. But you might have Marjorie. She might live. She's a fan favorite. I could see her living for that reason, if nothing else. Oh yeah. But so we'll see. But I think it's a fantastic show. So, anyways, you have Cersei, and she's this next season is going to be. I just am so excited for her to murder the whole city, and it's going to be. So I don't like murder. Don't get me wrong. I like but I do when I'm rooting for a character and
you're rooting for Cersei to come. I wanted her dead. I was like, no.
But she still could get. I don't know how Cersei's gonna. I think she's just gonna live till the end, just to make us all angry.
I guess.
And then Jaime, and the whole thing with Jaime though. Jaime, they killed her daughter.
Yeah, that's fucked up. And
I mean, that was a big TV moment too, though.
Yeah, it was.
You know, you have the kiss, and it's like, obviously, duh. Now, what do? I think you turn the boat around and behead her.
That's
and then
what I thought he was going to do. Like, turn the boat around. I'm going back.
And I think if this and that, it's going to be really frustrating if that doesn't happen. Mm-hmm. And they talked about this in the Young Turks. I don't want to. If anybody that listens to our podcast and them, you know, Cenk and all of them talked about this whole topic in the same exact way. But I agree 100% with them. You know, like. Man, it's if they don't turn that boat around and murder her, I mean, she might get away. I could see that happening. Yeah. But I mean, I think the king of Dorne, or is he a king? I don't know if he's or just the guy who rules Dorne.
No, he's king.
He has the most sanity of anyone in the show.
Yeah.
Him, Daenerys, and there's one other one when I was watching it that I was like, that guy's an intelligent person that's making correct decisions unlike everyone else. They're like, you know, like that's a guy that like you don't want to mess with. Like I think he's, you know, he's an intelligent person, is making like proper decisions. Like the whole decision, like you can't, like, you know, like you can't betray me. Like I believe in second chances, but I don't believe in third. Like that's fantastic, and like just that whole the way that, you know, he kind of plays his power, his hand in that situation is great. And so I think Jaime turns around. Mm-hmm. They behead her if she's still in the city. I could see her escaping though in the amount of time it would take for them to turn that boat around. But you know, because if they don't do that, it's gonna be really frustrating. Like if a war starts out, if Cersei really comes back and tries to murder everyone in Dorne because of what happens there, it's going to be just frustrating because it's going to be like a Lost moment, the show Lost, where like, you know, people do things just out of just irrational things, and it leads to like I like when things happen that are rational, at least from the character's perspective, you know, and that won't make sense if Jaime just goes back to King's Landing and tells Cersei that they murdered her daughter. Dorne is going to burn to the ground, and it's going to be frustrating, though, because you're going to have this war that just doesn't need to happen. I wouldn't be opposed to seeing that on screen, but still, you know.
I got you.
And the great moment, though, between Jaime and her daughter. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff, man, in this episode.
She's like, I know you're my father. I was like, what?
And then you have Sansa and Theon. Well, you have Stannis dies. Brienne she kills him. That's a fantastic scene too. You have somebody who really wants to kill Stannis, and then hesitates. Like is really like, you know, Stannis kind of accepts his fate, and cool. And Brienne kind of question. You know, she's like, I don't know if I. You know, she's like, like I've been waiting for this for so long, and now I don't know if I even want it. Like that's what makes this show great. Is little and it's just in like the looks and the way it's shot. Now they shot that whole scene in an exchange of close-ups, and the whole time you're sitting there like she's gonna get stabbed in the back, and you're just like no please, and that doesn't happen. It's a good. Great, you know, Ramsay didn't shank her in the back with.
I'm glad Ramsay.
But you know, in the way Stannis just gets like this like triplet of or like this just triple bad news like at once. He's like, oh yeah, Melisandre's gone. Your men are deserted. They deserted you, and your wife just committed suicide. You're like, he's like, oh, okay, I'm having a bad day.
Very bad day.
You know, it's but again, it's a great downfall of a character. I just I like seeing that because it's interesting. It's interesting drama. So, and then you have Theon and Sansa, who jump off the building. I think they're coming back. I think they're gonna. I think they're gonna pair up with Brienne and. Brienne. And then,
okay, you think that she's gonna?
I don't know where they'll go though. Who owns Winterfell right now? I guess it's the Boltons. It's the Boltons, right? Yeah, they own Winterfell, and I mean, you could see them going to the Vale. Maybe I doubt it though. I don't know. I think they're gonna go north to the Night's Watch probably. And hopefully by that point, Jon Snow and Bran comes back to the Night's Watch to meet up with Jon Snow. Melisandre like brings him back to life. And,
yes, I know that's
and all is good with the realm.
Because, like I said, the fact that she didn't get killed instantly when she went in by this guy, I said, okay, she's going to live then, and she's going to live to get this guy back from the dead. So.
I don't know. I think it'll be interesting to see what happens with her. But I mean, I think, you know, apparently in the books, again, I'm like saying this from somebody who just is picks up pieces of people who are like, yeah, apparently in the books this happens.
Yeah.
Who knows? Is that all of those people I've talked to are lying or wrong? But apparently in the books, Melisandre continues to look into the fire and sees nothing but snow. And and so like it's a little on the nose, but it would make sense, and it would make sense though for her to side with him and help lead him to and another point that a lot of people have made is that that the Lord of Light, or whoever, I think it's Lord of Light, I think is the one that she worships, is the only Lord in the show that's actually accomplished anything.
Yeah, right.
And he might be a demon lord, that is Satan himself, like that has come back, to destroy the world. I don't know, but his stuff is working. He's resurrected people. He summoned a demon baby from Alessandra's a demon assassin baby thing.
Yeah,
and
right.
I mean, he's got some stuff done. So,
yeah, that's true. You're right about that.
It's interesting, but lots of stuff to talk about. And that's what good television is, I think. Obviously, I'm frustrated with Jon Snow. If he is really dead, that's a frustrating thing, because it's like Night's Watch is probably my least favorite part of the show.
Yeah,
aside from White Walkers and
the White
there's
Walkers.
occasional good, really, really solid episodes. But when they defend the wall, that's a great. I mean, there's the key stuff, but there's other good episodes on top of that. But for the most part, I'm generally like about the Night's Watch. Yeah. So if I have to sit through all of that just for you to murder the guy that made that whole thing relevant, it's like, that's really frustrating. But that's why I really don't think that that's the case here. Yeah. Ned Stark and whatnot, that made sense, and that led to lots of other things happening. Yeah. And same with the Stark's death. I mean, like they've lived out. Most of those characters have lived out their purpose in the show. And therefore, like Viserys, who's Daenerys' brother. Yeah. Like he dies at the perfect moment. Like he decides, he's like, that's all I ever wanted, And then it's like, and so he accomplished exactly what he was supposed to accomplish. Jon Snow's the only one that really hasn't served his role yet in the show. I mean, obviously he's done a lot, but he hasn't made enough change to really matter yet. Whereas Ned, even in his death, made things happen. Yeah. Same with Robb and Catelyn and all those people. But so yeah, we'll see. But I think he's coming back.
Definitely. Yeah.
And that's enough. We got to move on because we're almost out of time. Friggin' David Lynch.
Films of.
We're going to briefly talk about David Lynch, I guess. We're going to skip John Wick. It's good. You should see it.
Yeah, I like
Theon is in it and Lance Reddick and
Theon,
Clark Peters, both the bunch of people from The Wire. It's badass. It's awesome. There's a line in it where I guess we'll talk about it real quick because it's awesome. I have some things written down for it that I do want to mention. The bad Russian guy in it, there's a line where he's like, he calls John Wick, or not John Wick, he calls the other... the Mexican actor or Hispanic actor, I forgot his name, but he calls him. He's like, I was told you struck. Or I guess it is John. He's like, I was told you struck my son. May I ask why? He's like, because he stole John Wick's car and killed his dog. Oh, he hangs up the phone. This movie's badass,
John
dude. It's John. Yeah. Great character actor. I like him a lot. But he shows up for a couple scenes.
Yeah, I know. That's
this is a violent movie with a lot of style. It didn't really need to have it's when I saw the trailer, I thought it could be kind of another one of those Max Payne type, just in terms of budget, and just isn't, it's cheap and ugly and or Contraband or some of those action thrillers that even if they are dark, they're just kind of ugly and gritty, but it's just because they don't have the budget to really make it look clean. And but this is this movie it's a smooth, it's really well shot, just the atmosphere is there. The tone is interesting, and it has a lot of style, which is something I can't say about a lot of low budget action thrillers. So it's very good, and you've seen it, you liked it.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. Yeah.
It's for an action flick. It's not as good as The Raid, but nothing's as good as The Raid. But
it reminded me of something like Taken, a movie that came out of nowhere.
Really solid, but it's better than Taken though. I think.
Oh no, yeah, it is.
But I'm not a Taken lover though either.
Yeah.
But this is a really slick, stylish action film that's really good. If we could get more of these, I would be very happy about that. And then. Move on to David Lynch. So that's John Wick. Go see it.
Yeah.
It's on HBO streaming now. So if you've got HBO, you can stream it for free at the moment. And so I watched Eraserhead for the first time. I love it. I really love it. Man,
creepy.
it's great. You know, like it, like just the whole, like some of the thematic stuff in it, like just the contemplation of suicide and like the way that he represents that in the film is really interesting from an artistic standpoint. And you know, just that every time he looks at the radiator, you have it kind of whisk off to the Angel of Death singing, and it's just like I mean, yes, it's a little bit artsy, and like you could sit here and go, it's so pretentious. Like, why wouldn't you have to use weird imagery to represent such a simple idea? But it's like, it's disturbing. Like, and that's
Very
what's
disturbing,
and I'm a fan of disturbing imagery just because it's creepy and it's effective, and I'm a fan. The little screaming, disturbing looking baby, is just really haunting, and and I love, like, and this is something I like a lot of the Lynch stuff, but this is one of the films that's very industrial, like Twin Peaks.
Very.
Just like you have that groan of like just like the factories and like and it's just you feel it's, and David Lynch describes this in interviews, is that's what he was kind of going for, is that claustrophobic feel of like this man trapped in that industrial world, and just can't break free from it, and it's just kind of that daily kind of repetition, and just there's always that noise that exists, and that's really great. It's really great just from a, like, he's operating, I really think David Lynch is operating at another level,
no doubt.
And I think this is one of his best films that I've seen so far, purely from like a cinematic standpoint and just an artistic standpoint. I do love Mulholland Drive, which I watched for the first time also. I didn't finish Elephant Man. I rented it and watched the first like half hour. And then I just had to go to sleep. And it was on one of the weeks that we had to cancel the podcast. And I don't remember which week that was. We've been trying to do this podcast forever. And then now we're cutting into it because of freaking Game of Thrones, but whatever.
So you only watched some of Elephant Man. What you think so far?
Oh, I think it's great. It's great, man. Yeah, I'm really like I said, I'm 100% on board with David Lynch.
Good. Dune?
Dune I have not watched. I bought it. I haven't watched it yet because it's like 3 hours long. I just haven't had. That's the problem. This is the reason I haven't seen everything from him yet. Is Inland Empire is like 3.5 hours. Mulholland Drive is like 2.5 hours. Twin Peaks is obviously a full show. Eraserhead is his shortest film probably. Blue Velvet's 2.5 hours though too. I rewatched Blue Velvet though because I hadn't seen it in a long time. So I've seen Eraserhead, Blue Velvet, Mulholland Drive, all of Twin Peaks. And
did you see Walnut Art?
No, and I didn't see Lost Highway. I haven't seen The Straight Story. I haven't seen Rabbits. I haven't seen Dune. So, and I did see Fire Walk with Me as well because You
did or did not?
I didn't see the full version of it yet though, but I'll be buying that Blu-ray set eventually once I move and can start buying movies again. So I've seen a lot. I haven't seen everything for sure, and I'm really excited to see Lost Highway and Inland Empire and. I really think I like Elephant Man more than Blue Velvet. I do love Blue Velvet. I think Blue Velvet though kind of runs out of steam a little bit midway. Like I just think it kind of like it doesn't really it loses its plot. I think a little bit in the middle. Not that there's nothing happening. It just is like some of the motivation doesn't really make a lot of sense. I don't know, but it's a really solid film. I mean, again, like all his films, and this is what I love the most about them. They all have a style. They all have like we're talking about John Wick. Like we're talking about like another film that just has a style, and that's something that I can't say about a lot of movies. And Blue Velvet just has like the score and kind of the tone of it, and the way that the performances, like the way that he directs his actors in that. Like, I mean, the whole like Heineken. Fuck that shit. Like, like he's insane, but like he talks like I've never seen an insane person talk the way that he talks in that film. Like, Dennis Hopper is fantastic, but it's strange direction from a standpoint of like, from David Lynch's standpoint. And I think that's really, it's again, this is all part of his style. It's strange and that's, I love it, man. I love Jack Nance in Blue Velvet too for the couple scenes he's in.
Jack Nance is great.
The Sandman song, that whole all that stuff, and that's kind of all the notes I had on that. Candy Colored Clown.
Yeah,
that's just that random clown that's sitting in the room, or what? I don't remember. I wrote that down. I don't remember what that was now. It's been too long since I've seen it.
Yeah, no, the sequence, it's in Blue Velvet, though. Isn't
Yes,
it?
yeah. What is it, though? Remind me. I don't remember.
It's the song that they sing.
Okay.
What's his name?
Well,
wow.
is it the Sandman song? Is it the same? Like, I wrote down Sandman song.
That's one of
and
the
they're
lines. That's one of the lines.
Okay, gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. Just some great weird scenes in that movie, and then I love the ending when he comes into the room, and you have the big tall dude that's kind of has a bullet in his head or whatever, and it's just kind of like that's that weird Lynchian style. You get all these like wide shots like from weird angles of these people just kind of skewed and just the way that he places them on screen is just disturbing in itself. And he did that in Twin Peaks as well in the Red Room.
Yeah, in the room.
All these like, and he does this in every film, like, and especially as well as like in Mulholland Drive, like in all like the office scenes, like he'll just like put a camera up in the corner and just kind of like obscure. It's just a weird placement of cameras and it's stuff that nobody else really does.
Yeah.
And it's, even though it doesn't always make sense, and it can just kind of be off-putting, or not off-putting, but like it can take you out. When I'm watching a David Lynch film, I'm very aware of the technical things that are going on. Like, I'm not really like concerned about the plot. I'm not really concerned about like the characters. Like, generally, I'm not very engaged. It's not that's not like, I see them as art films and and that's what I love about them, though. Like,
of course, yeah.
I
mean, he's an artist first,
Absolutely. And his movies don't always make sense. There's bad things, and like let's get to Mulholland Drive. So Mulholland Drive is
very scattered,
borderline bad, in a lot of ways. Just like I think it's brilliant. I think there's a lot of greatness to it.
Yeah.
But there's just scenes that don't make sense. Like there's the coffee scene, which is, I know Mulholland Drive had a whole. The backstory that just they had a lot of issues with that production. Like, it was supposed to be a TV show, and then it wasn't, and then he had to like cut a bunch of stuff out of it because of that. But like another thing is, like, he did this with Twin Peaks, Fire or Walk with Me too. Yeah. It was supposed to be like multiple, and then he left stuff in, though. It's like, what?
And then cut a lot of stuff that we wanted out.
What are you doing? Like, he was supposed to be multiple movies. And then he left in the stuff with like Kiefer Sutherland and stuff. It's like, it doesn't. It's no longer a film. Like, it's no long. It's literally just a collection of scenes that don't make sense anymore. It's like, I mean, you might as well just open up with Twin Peaks, but it has to be an hour and a half. So we're just gonna throw in the FBI stuff at the beginning of it. It's like, what is this? I don't understand that. And I think it is a rotten film because of that. Like, I think like if it's just not it doesn't feel complete, and so therefore I can't give it like a positive rating. There's some good stuff in it, but man, it's a mess. That's how I feel about Mulholland Drive at times. But Mulholland Drive definitely. But I think Mulholland Drive also has a lot of style to it. And even almost more so than like Blue Velvet. Like I don't know. Some of the earlier stuff is very TV looking and just kind of had the way it paces. Like it's kind of an oddly paced film as well. Yeah. Some of the scenes, like when the two lead actresses, Naomi Watts and I forgot the other one.
Naomi Watts and what's her name? Oh, hold on.
I don't remember when those two are like talking and like hanging out and stuff at the beginning before everything, all the stuff happens. Just kind of, it's like it just goes on and on like a TV show would, but like not like a good TV show like Laura Harring. There you go. But I think when that movie takes its flip, when it turns on itself, when she opens up the box and we go inside, and the movie becomes a different thing altogether. Let's talk about what happens in that movie. Because I'm still a little confused on it. I mean, I think and I think I've sat through. I've watched some interviews with David Lynch talking about how it's like the movie's supposed to feel like a dream. It's not supposed to, there's things that you don't know exactly how we got here. You don't know.
The girls may be the same person. Going into the box, I think represents going into
the reality
of what's going on. You go deep inside,
or at least the other perspective
because after that,
So you say that they're the same person,
Yeah.
So these clearly weren't happening at the same time.
No.
And so, she at one point marries or falls in love with the director.
Mm-hmm.
He dumps her at some point. She kills herself, becomes a drug addict, and kills herself. It's basically the reality of it.
Yeah.
I also got this vibe that like her whole like Hollywood, the way that the first half of the film is kind of lit, and the way that the performance, like the whole just her being so excited and like just kind of like there's this Hollywood dream that isn't a reality, and I think even like back from like when she got there, like the way she inherited her aunt's property and all. Like I haven't seen this film in about a couple weeks now, so like there's things that I don't remember, but like even that kind of was shifted. So like it seems like she was living in kind of a shithole the whole time.
Yeah, the whole time. Right.
And and that like the whole like romance is what's kind of strange. I don't know how you can. If they're the same person, how would you even imagine? Like even if like she was like imagining that there was another person, like how does that work? Is it like Fight Club? But is she schizophrenic though, like or is it just this concept that maybe she's an actress and she's in love with herself? I don't know.
And some people have said that. The vanity of beauty in Hollywood and stuff like that, and that could also be it. I think that's too generic.
And there's also another theory I read where somebody said that they aren't the same person, that they're it's that cycle of Hollywood kind of churning actresses in and out, and like like that like they come in and they're all excited and they have their moment and then they fall apart, and that they're not the same person, but they're the same they play the same role in that they get replaced, and that's really how I felt for most of the film until the dinner party sequence. That's where I was like, I don't know if that theory completely makes sense there. When she's seeing herself, but that would still make sense from a standpoint of like somebody replaces her, and so she's jealous of that person, and I don't know, and again, it's like
because I haven't seen it in about a year or so. So I got.
And some of these theories, I've I'd have to really watch it again, and with knowledge of the ending, of course. But again, I think it's a fantastic film though, that there is that like ambiguity to it, that he doesn't kind of wrap it up in a nice bow, and I think you feel what it makes sense from a feeling standpoint, not necessarily from a plot standpoint. Like you understand like what the emotion that he's trying to make you feel, and I think that's all that matters. Yeah. And same with Eraserhead, same with all of his other films. Not Dune. I haven't seen Dune, or I haven't seen a lot of his films. So I'm saying I can't make generic statements about all his movies yet. Sure. I haven't seen them all, but just in interviews I've
Lost Highway
heard him
has,
talk about.
Well, when you see Lost Highway has that sense of doubles and alternate people and parallels, but you have to see Lost Highway.
Yeah, I'm excited to see. Yeah. I'm excited to watch all of them because I just love his style, and I'm really excited about Inland Empire because apparently he just kind of lets loose.
Yeah, that one's
for Inland Empire, and I'm excited to just watch like 3 hours of just like I don't know what's happening.
That one, I had to watch that again because I saw that once and I just said, "What the fuck?"
Like that's one I want to go see in a theater, just because I'm not like I'll tune out of a movie if I don't, but I never discredit it as long as I'm interested visually in what's happening. I'm like because I don't necessarily need to be engaged to enjoy it, like from an artistic standpoint. Like clearly we're talking about art cinema here. We're talking about like the this isn't a movie I'm going to go recommend somebody. Oh, it's so great, those kinds of films can be challenging. Would be an appropriate word for it. But at the same time, I just sometimes I'm in the mood for that. Sometimes I'm in the mood for something that doesn't necessarily make sense, but I'm not expecting it to. Yeah. So I'm not going to go watch that with friends. It's going to be the one that I sit in a dark room and just kind of go, okay, maybe have a little bit of whiskey and get that rolling. But
Inland Empire,
I'm excited to watch everything that he has to offer.
Yeah, check out Lost Highway and Inland Empire. Two you need to see because that's very Lynchian to say the word. And like I said, straight story just to see.
I want to see everything.
Yeah.
I don't want to see everything for every director that I love. I want to watch even the bad stuff. I want to see like what happened.
Yeah,
was it the producers? Was it their fault entirely? Was it because I mean I think there's some stuff in here that is the bad stuff is David Lynch being David Lynch. But that's kind of it's like I do feel like his films are uninterrupted in regards. I don't feel like there's no other outside force coming in and saying, oh no, you can't do that. I mean in some cases yes, but what we get though still isn't like like them saying you can't direct Twin Peaks anymore.
Yeah.
That's so like that's interference there a little bit, but like with the movies though, for the most part, he has final cut other than Dune. Dune's the one that that like at least what I've seen like all the weirdness gets kept in, and that's all that I want, even if it's bad weirdness like.
And it is bad weirdness.
Some of the acting in Mulholland Drive is just like questionable, at least, to say the least. It's funny bad at times, but at the same time, I like a good bad movie sometimes. So it's like, and I like a film that's not concerned about what other people think about it to the degree that it's willing to be weird. It's willing to have plot lines that don't go anywhere. Like the witch that lives in the dumpster behind you. It's like
what the hell
why did you keep that in the movie? I love it though.
Yeah,
it doesn't make any sense.
Scared the shit out of me, but first watched it.
That's interesting. Maybe it does have something to do with the plot. I don't think it does.
No, it doesn't.
Other than in the dreamscape of that city and just kind of that idea that there's I don't know. It's the deja vu sense of the film. And like it does fit in tonally with the movie, but it doesn't make plot sense at all, really. But I don't need it to necessarily. I like
I love
his films are not
scene.
perfect. I don't think. I think Eraserhead would be the one that I feel like is the most like, and Blue Velvet. Blue Velvet and Eraserhead feel, but I haven't seen a lot of them. I haven't seen more than half his films. I feel like Eraserhead and Blue Velvet are the two that like they feel like they're entirely his, and that they're the cleanest. Let's put it that way. To me so far, but like I said, I heard Elephant Man's kind of like that too. It's more of it's a simpler, more But David Lynch is fantastic. He's a new favorite director of mine for sure. I don't know that he would be on my list of like the greatest directors of all time because I don't know that he is necessarily a great. I mean, I think he is great in a lot of ways, but I think he's also
I never put
bad.
him in my top 10.
It depends. Favorite, yes. Best, no.
No.
It's like because he's not perfect. He's not, but that's what I like. And he also has kind of that independent sentimentality or mentality, not sentimentality, of like I'm just gonna shoot this on a cheap camera that I found because I want to make it. Rather than getting. I want to make it my way, and I love that mentality because I think artists should have that right. And David Lynch is fantastic. And if you haven't seen a David Lynch film and you love movies, if you don't like movies, don't watch David Lynch movies. Maybe he's the one that turns you into somebody who likes movies. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
Probably not though. My guess is you're probably gonna watch him and go, I don't care for this. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
But that's okay. That's okay. He's not for everyone, but I do think everybody should see a film of his. Which one would you recommend of all his? Because you've seen everything.
Yeah, I recommend seeing definitely
Blue Velvet.
Blue Velvet, because I think that was his.
I'm not speaking
breakout.
for you. I think you've said that before.
No. Blue Velvet is a movie because that's what I brought you into that one. I think it's one of his best films in that aspect of this. It gives you the essential David Lynch. You have this character. They go down the rabbit hole, and then you get the weirdness.
Yeah, they're living kind of that. That city of mystery.
Yeah. I also like Lost Highway for its creepiness, and you already know that Twin Peaks is my favorite TV show of all time. So I mean, those are the three things I would recommend, and definitely
Lost Highway with the asterisk by them saying. They're not necessarily perfect. Don't judge them that way. Twin Peaks is certainly not a perfect show, but it is a favorite of mine because of its imperfections. And we're being hypocritical to a degree there because technically you could say we can complain about episode 1 of True Detective being it's all subjective. So you can't
Actually, we rewatched it. And I like that episode again. I like True Detective, that first episode, the way he sets everything up.
What are you talking about in season 1 or 2?
Season 1.
Oh, okay. I was talking about 2.
I
was talking about anything that we have complaints about.
I haven't seen that yet.
Like, Jurassic World. Like, like I complained about that movie a lot, but I still had fun with it. But,
you had
still.
fun, yeah.
We're quick to discredit things sometimes, too. So, but with David Lynch, he's not perfect.
Yeah, he's not.
That's why I like it.
He's perfectly imperfect.
He's perfectly imperfect.
So, yeah.
That is the show.
That is the show, yeah. I hope you
talked
liked
about
it.
a lot. I mean, we spent way more time on Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones.
We rocked out the David Lynch discussion.
Yes, we did.
So it's because I hadn't seen anything of his. I hadn't seen half his movies. I don't know what we're gonna do next. I'm about to get into. I'm actually gonna be working next Monday. Probably. I'm working on a movie next week. So.
Oh, so we might not do it next Monday.
I'll have to look.
Which is good. Well,
next Monday I'm shooting all day. So now after next Tuesday I'm moving and I have a wedding on the 11th, but I'm literally not doing anything until August. I'll be editing and stuff, but I won't be.
Yeah.
I don't have any shoots or anything that would keep me from being able to come and record. So you'll have to. Maybe we do the next show at my apartment.
Yeah, that would be good.
So maybe next week we take a week off, or after Wednesday, like Wednesday through the 10th, I'm off, so might be able to get a show in later next week, but we won't have one on Monday. But that's okay.
I mean,
it's a podcast,
And we do good.
We don't have a subscriber base that's requiring us to get it uploaded on the dot every week. But hey,
what happened to the guy that was going to do it live or No, not live. You said pay for it or something like that.
No. It said he's in radio. So.
So what's the story?
Not a story there.
It's not a story there. Okay.
Yeah. Well, who knows? But we're not.
Anyway.
But we're also not. I'm not active. If this is not something I'm trying to make money off of. So.
No. It's something that we enjoy doing.
We just like talking about movies and stuff.
I love it. I love
having a show and being able to make it a thing. And if somebody gets enjoyment out of it, great. If somebody doesn't, great.
Fine. They do. Everybody loves the show, man.
And all 3 of you that listen. Even our guests don't listen to it.
Yeah, I had a freaking John. He's like, I'm going to listen to your show, but it's a good show.
Yeah.
But then I'm surprised he's not listening to his show.
It is a target. I mean, our show is a target audience, just like Linoleum Night for any of those podcasts. Like, they're targeted at people who want to sit and listen to somebody talk about film for an hour and a half.
Yeah, right.
So,
I love it.
That is Indecisive Cinema. That's what we're about.
Episode 18. Yeah, this is another one for the books.
So we'll be coming at you at a new location probably. I'm gonna make you drive your ass down to my apartment.
I'll drive down there, check it out. Yeah.
And we'll record in the peace and quiet of my new apartment.
We play for that John and Jordan.
Maybe we'll have them both on.
That'd be interesting. I gotta meet Jordan. But anyway, so that was episode 18.
We need to bring Jordan on the show just because he's the guy that dragged me to see Penguins of Madagascar.
Oh my God.
So yeah, we need to bring him on the show, and Pitch Perfect too, for that matter. So he likes good stuff. So he's a Game of Thrones guy. We could have brought him on for Game of Thrones discussion.
Yeah,
though.
he probably would have.
He could have. Yeah, he could have rocked that out. But he does like bad stuff too. Well, that's why it's a good person to bring on the show, so we can argue about it.
So then that's it. So then we'll see you next week or the week after.
If we do it one next week, we'll see you next week. Yeah. If not,
we'll see you.
You probably won't catch this till later anyway.
So this was
doesn't matter.
I know. This is Carlos Hernandez.
And I'm Jeremy Knight.
And that was Indecisive Cinema, episode 18. We'll see you next week.